निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोः सुतं निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोः सुतं निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोः सुतं वाम स्वभाव कृपया ननाम च वाम स्वभाव कृपया ननाम च वाम स्वभाव कृपया ननाम च तथावृतं पशुवत् पाशबद्धम् आवन्मुखं कर्म जुगुप्सितेन निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोसुतं वाम स्वभाव कृपया ननाम च तथावृतं पशुवत् पाशबद्धम् आवन्मुखं निरीक्ष्य कृष्णा प्रकृतं गुरोसुतं वाम स्वभाव कृपया ननाम च Sina, yeah, please read. Synonyms, word to word meaning. Tata, thus, ahrutam, brought in, pashuva, like an animal, pashabaddam, tied with ropes, avakmukam, with a words in his mouth, karma, activities, jugupsitena, being heinous, Niriksha, by seeing, Krishna, Draupadī, Apakritam, the doer of the degrading, Guroho, the teacher, Sutam, son, Vama, beautiful, Svabhava, nature, Krupaya, out of compassion, Nanama, offered obeisances, Cha, and. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Śrī Sūta Gosvāmī said, Draupadī then saw Aśvatthāmā, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. Due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him due respect as a brāhmaṇa. Please repeat the translation. Śrī Sūta Gosvāmī said, Draupadī then saw Aśvatthāmā, who was bound with ropes like an animal and silent for having enacted the most inglorious murder. due to her female nature and due to her being naturally good and well behaved, she showed him due respect as a brāhmaṇa. Purport. Aśvatthāmā was condemned by the Lord himself, and he was treated by Arjuna just like culprit, not like the son of a brāhmana teacher. But when he was brought before Srimati Draupadī, she, although be grieved for the murder of her sons, and although the murderer was present before her, could not withdraw the due respect generally offered to a brāhmana or to son of a brāhmana. This is due to her mild nature as a woman. Women as a class are no better than boys, and therefore they have no discrimination power like that of a man. Aśvatthāmā proved himself to be unworthy son of a Dronacharya or of a brāhmana. And for this reason, he was condemned by the great authority, Lord Śrī Krishna. And yet, a mild woman could not withdraw her natural courtesy for a brāhmana. Even today, in a Hindu family, a woman shows proper respects to the brāhmana caste, however fallen and heinous a brāhmana bandhu may be. But the men have begun to protest against Brahma bandhus who are born in the family of a good brahmanas, but by action are less than Sudras. The specific words used in this sloka are Vamasvabhava, mild and gentle by nature. A good man or woman accepts everything very easily, but a man of an average intelligence does not do so. But anyway, we should not give up our reason and discrimination power just to gentle. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its merit. We should not follow the mild nature of women and thereby accept that which is not genuine. Aśvatthāmā may be respected by good-natured women, but that does not mean that he is as good as a genuine brahmana. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om ajñānatimrandasya jñānāñjana-śalākaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. These two slokas are explaining how Arjuna has brought Aśvatthāmā, the son of Dronacharya, to his own camp. Now, all the Pandavas and Kauravas, not Kauravas, of course, the army of the Pandavas are staying still at the Kurukshetra, at their camp. So, when Aśvatthāmā is fleeing, Arjuna caught him and he bound him with the ropes in his chariot and he brought before Draupadī Devi. Draupadī Devi, an exalted devotee of Lord Śrī Krishna, a woman by nature, they are very mild and gentle because being a devotee is so soft also. So being in that nature, when Arjuna approached her, she is crying with the grief because she lost her 5 sons, not even 1 or 2, 5 sons at one time. Draupadi has got 5 sons with her 5 husbands, and she lost all of them at one point of time. Not in the battlefield, during the night. That too in an inappropriate way. See, a woman may be okay if she loses her husband in the battle. Maybe okay, her husband or a son in a battle, they may be okay. But she lost her sons in inappropriate way. That's why she is grief-stricken and she is crying. Arjuna brought Aśvatthāmā in front of her because being gentle and good sense lady, she offered obeisances to Aśvatthāmā, due respects to Aśvatthāmā. Because Aśvatthāmā is a family, is a brāhmaṇa, is from brāhmaṇa family. By actions, even though he has fallen from his position, still she is thinking, he is my guru's son. Dronacharya is guru to all the Pandavas. In that way, he is guru to Draupadi Devi also. So Draupadi is thinking, he is guru, he is my guru's son, so I should offer my obeisances to him. Even though he killed all her sons. Suppose you just think, in current generation, if anybody kills our relatives, if they come to our front, what we will do? What we will do? First we'll give him a slap. We'll beat him nicely, and later we'll think what to do. We'll hand over to police or whatever it may be. About Draupadi Devi, there are so many negative comments are there. She married 5 husbands. How can she marry? Women is allowed to marry only one husband. How can? Like that deity, like that so many negative comments are there about Draupadi. Yes or no? Yes? Yes. But Draupadi married 5 Pandavas on the order of Lord Śrī Krishna. Krishna approved that activity. As soon as Lord Śrī Krishna approved that activity, it will become religious activity, it will become dharma. So, Draupadi marrying 5 people, 5 Pandavas is very religious way. And she lived with each husband for 1 year, that's all. And she begat one child, that's all. And later, when 5 Pandavas went to exile, Draupadi is the only woman she accompanied. Even Subhadra went to her home, her parents' house, Lord Krishna's house, to take shelter, because all Pandavas are out of their city, out of kingdom. So only Draupadi Devi accompanied the 5 Pandavas in their exile. And she has taken all the austerities in the forest, just for pleasing all the 5 Pandavas, her husbands. So that way, see, that gentle lady, what is her behavior, you just see here. Before commenting any negative comments on Draupadi, even the murderer of her sons, she is paying her due respects. That is the character of Draupadi Devi. Not that some loose character, no. She is a chaste woman, she is a pativrata. Okay. Because Prabhupada is also telling, women by class, they are like children. They are like children, very soft-hearted. Children, if you live like that without training, they'll become spoiled. They'll become adamant. Yes or no? So, children has to be trained very nicely. And we have to protect the children also. Like in the same way, women has to be trained from the childhood. How they have to be trained? How a woman has to take care her husband. How she has to serve her husband. That is the training. In the Vedas, how a boy has to be trained, how a man has to be trained, how a woman has to be trained is given. A boy has to be trained as a brahmachari. How a brahmachari should live, how a brahmachari should do. At the age of 5, he has to be sent to a Gurukula. No affection and all, motherly affection, fatherly affection, that and all, you have to keep it aside. And you should send your children to Gurukula. In the Gurukula, what they should do? They should do menial service. He may be a son of a king, that's okay, that you keep it aside. A son of a king, a son of a poor brāhmaṇa, they'll do same activities in the Gurukula. Not that because he's a son of a king, he'll be given high respects and he's given nice soft cushion bed for sleeping, nice perishable food stuff for eating. No discrimination like that. Guru or or Guru's Patni, they'll treat all the Gurukul boys in the same way. And all the Gurukul boys has to do all the menial services for their Guru. Like washing the Guru's clothes or cleaning the ashram, going to the forest and collecting the firewood, everything they'll do. Everything, whether is from a king background or whether is from a poor family, it doesn't matter. Everybody should do like that. Like that, he has to practice his brahmacharya till at the age of 20, 25 like that. Then a man is allowed to marry, then he can marry. And then he should beget a children and he should take responsibility of his wife and the children. What is that responsibility? Not that just feed 3 times a day. That is sufficient, and give nice clothing, bed, a palatial building. That is not responsibility. That even animals and birds will do. They'll feed, no, their children. No, that is not responsibility. The responsibility of a father is that he has to make sure that his son will become a Krishna consciousness devotee. A responsible husband should make sure that his wife should become a Krishna consciousness devotee. That is the responsibility of a man. When it comes to a woman, her parents should teach how you should serve your husband, how you should give gently, how you have to do all the things. She has to learn from the beginning. How he has to, then if you train a woman very nicely, she'll become a chaste woman to her husband. And she'll beget a Krishna consciousness children, and she'll take care nicely about her children too. This is the training which is given in the Vedic times. Then in India, if you speak now, women has to be protected. All the women will do dharna now. Don't worry. See, we'll protect which things are precious. See, if you have a gold, where you'll keep? You have 5 grams, 10 grams gold means you'll keep it in your almirah and you'll lock. You'll protect, right? Like that? Yes or no? If you have a 5 kg gold, what you'll do? You don't keep in your house also. You'll put it in a bank locker. That way protection is there. According to Vedic scriptures, women has given highest respect and highest protection also. That's why women has to be protected. Women is valuable like that as a gold, so they has to be given protection. Nowadays, if you see how many women is missing in any year, any idea? In world, in thousands, around 25 to 50,000 in between like that. In a year. These many women are missing per any year. See, now do you agree? Women has required protection. Even children are missing these days. Of course, we should give protection to children and women also. Then women should serve her husband, whether he is a poor or rich, like that. Then man completes his grihastha life at the age of 50. Then he goes to vanaprastha or vanavasa. That time also, a woman should accompany her husband. Women should accompany her husband. Whether she is a queen, whatever it may be, doesn't matter. She should accompany her husband to the forest or to the pilgrimages, and they should take the austerity. See, in the Hyderabad or cities, you'll get luxurious lifestyle to live. If you go to the forest, what you'll eat? You have to eat fruits and ripen leaves like that. They has to take that one and they has to serve. In the Vedic time, there is a king by name Prithu Maharaj. Most of you who have read Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, Prithu Maharaj is a great king. And his wife name is Archi. When Prithu Maharaj retired untimely and he went to forest, even Archi accompanied him. Archi is from a royal background. She is a queen of Prithu Maharaj. She never taken any austerity. She used to sleep on a nice cushioned bed. But she still accompanied her husband, Prithu Maharaj. Why Prithu Maharaj left and he went to forest and he started meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his heart. Like that, how many years he meditated? Do you have any idea? How many years he meditated? Any idea? 25,000 years he meditated. How many years? 25,000 years he meditated like that. Because he is from Satyuga. In the Satyuga, people used to live for 1 lakh years. In that 25,000 years he meditated. And that 25,000 years, she is taking care of her husband. Because in the forest she doesn't get nice food. She became very pale and she became very lean like that. Still, she doesn't make it. She's taking pleasure in the service of her husband. She's taking pleasure in the service of her husband. In this context, Srimad Bhagavatam says like this: the woman who engages in the service of her husband, following strictly in the footsteps of the goddess of fortune, surely returns home back to Godhead with her devotee husband and lives very happily in the Vaikuntha planets. It is told in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 11th chapter, text number 29. It is told the woman who is serving her husband, women should serve her husband, but one point to correct. That husband should be a devotee, not that he is a murderer, he is boozing and coming to the house, still you serve your husband. No, I am not encouraging like that. First of all, the husband should be a gentleman. Then yes, women should serve. And he should be a devotee of Lord Śrī Krishna. That's what here in Srimad Bhagavatam is telling. Shri Radha Govind ki, Nitai Gaurang ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Devotee husband. Here in this sloka it is mentioned devotee husband. Just by serving her devotee husband, she will also go back to home, back to Godhead. See, Archi is serving like that. At the end of her life, Prithu Maharaj passed away. Then she has taken Prithu Maharaj's body and she created a firewood. She placed her husband's body in the firewood. She has done all the funeral rites. She circumambulated that funeral fire and she entered into the fire. Sati Sahagamana. Willingly she entered into the fire. Because even though she can separate from her body, but she cannot separate the association of her husband. Because who is a devotee? Who is devotee also? The woman who cannot bear separation from her husband is allowed to do Sati Sahagamana, not forcefully. During the Britishers' time, this Sati Sahagamana was there traditionally because the women unable to bear separation from their husband and they used to enter into the fire willingly. And they never shout in between when they are burning and all because their consciousness is so elevated, they never used to shout when their body is burning live. That is the state. Then it became a custom later during the Britishers' time. Hindus, the so-called Hindus, they used to tie the women and they used to throw into the fire. They used to shout, howl, what and all they used to do, we don't know. Because they are unwilling, they used to take some drug from the Britishers and they used to give the drug to the women. In the drugs, what they are doing, they don't know, no? They used to jump the women used to jump all these things and they used to enter into the fire like that. Then later they used to burn their bodies like that. But here Archi, willingly she entered into the fire. That is called Sati Sahagamana. That is allowed, not forcefully is not allowed, even according to Vedas. If anybody is doing like this, they'll enter into Vaikuntha Loka and they'll go back to Godhead. Then after Vanaprastha comes Sannyasa. Then when husband taken Sannyasa, the women should return back to her home and she should do austerities in the home. Taking only one meal in a day and doing japa, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all these things. And she should set an example for her daughter-in-law too. Like that austerity. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taken sannyasa at the age of 24, Vishnupriya Devi is just 16 years old girl, that's all. How many years old? 16 years old girl, Vishnupriya Devi. Then Vishnupriya Devi, what she used to do? Any guess? She used to chant a full day from morning when she got up. After finishing her absolutions, she used to start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. She used to chant one round. Then she used to take one grain of rice and put it aside. And she used to chant second round. And she used to take second grain from the rice and she used to put it aside. Like that throughout the day, she used to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How many rounds she used to chant, those many grains she used to collect and cook that grains, and in that 50% she used to donate. In a day, Haridas Thakur, how many rounds he used to do? How many rounds? 3 lakh names, rounds I am asking. 192 rounds. 192 rounds. If we have to do, it will take 24 hours for us. No bath, no mangalarti, nothing. For us, 16 rounds is taking 2 hours. Then 32 rounds, how many hours it will take? 4. Like that, 64 rounds, 8 hours. 64 into 8, how many? 192 rounds. 8 into 3, how many? 24. 24 hours it will take, that's all. But of course, Haridas Thakur and all, they used to finish in 16 to 18 hours like that. And they used to go for preaching other works also. Like that, even if she has done 200 rounds, 190 rounds, something like that, how many grains will come? A palm full? That's all. In that 50% she used to donate. And 25% she used to give to others, some animals and all. 25% she used to eat. How she used to survive? If you has to work, these many calories are required. Doctors will tell, no? If you want to talk for an hour, these many calories are burned. If you do jogging for 2 hours, these many calories are burned. If you have to get up from your bed, some calories are burned. For each and every activity in our life, some calories are burning. For working, so many calories are required. If she is eating just a palmful, one fist food, how she can sustain? How she can sustain? I think last to last class, one class I have told already. How she can sustain? For us, if we want to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we have to vibrate our tongue. We have to vibrate our tongue, so calories are burned. For pure devotees like Vishnupriya Devi and Haridas Thakur, if they have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will vibrate their tongue. Hare Krishna Mahamantra will vibrate their tongue. Then no calories are burned, 0 calories. Krishna is directly controlling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is directly controlling their bodies. So 3 modes are not affecting, so calories are not required. So with minimum food, they can sustain. Then how Raghunath Das Goswami, if you think, once in alternate day, he used to take a glass of buttermilk, that's all. A glass of buttermilk. Then how will sustain? If you calculate material way, this many calories are required for chanting all these things. It's not possible if you calculate materially. We should understand these activities spiritually, then only we can understand. Otherwise, materially, if you think, we cannot understand these activities. Like that Vishnu Priya Devi, she used to do so many austerities after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyasa. And she never met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before leaving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the house, he makes one deity and gives to Vishnu Priya Devi. She has worshipped her entire life that deity. Every day she used to do decoration, offering, everything. Apart from all these activities, she is chanting from morning to night. See, their only activity is devotional service 24/7. Because she is none other than goddess of Lakshmi. Rukmini and Satyabhama came as Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya. So, she is none other than Rukmini Devi and Satyabhama Devi. So, she can do like that. In the same way, when husband takes sannyasa, husband passes away, the women also should do austerity. With austerity, they'll get power. With austerity, they'll get chaste power. That's why when women are got married, they'll say, you go and take blessings from that lady. They'll say, why? Because they has got that power. If they blesses, yes, she remains as, she lives good life. Their blessings has got such power. Okay? And so many things are there. One more sloka I'll tell and I'll try to end. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, text number 33, it is told like this. A husband is the supreme demigod for a woman, not supreme personality of Godhead. Here it is mentioned, supreme demigod. Please understand carefully. A husband is the supreme demigod for a woman. The supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the husband of goddess of fortune, is situated in everyone's heart and is worshipped through the various names and forms of the demigod by fruity workers. Similarly, husband respects the Lord as the object of worship for a woman. How a demigods will worship the supreme personality of Godhead, like that, even the woman has to worship her husband. As a demigod, supreme demigod, she has to think and she has to worship like that. Understood? Like that it is told in Srimad Bhagavatam. Some devotees asked me to tell about Ratha Yatra. I'll just take 5 minutes and I'll tell the story of Ratha Yatra also. When Lord Krishna is living in Dwaraka with his family, once in the Jyeshta Amavasya, eclipse happened. To observe eclipse, Lord Krishna's entire family, including Vasudeva, all of them, they came to Kurukshetra for observing that eclipse. Even from Vrindavan, all the damsels of Vrindavan, all the gopis, gopas, the elderly gopas and gopis, also came to Kurukshetra for observing the eclipse. Then after eclipse is over, all the gopis, elderly gopis and gopas, young gopis and gopas met Lord Krishna. Because after leaving Vrindavan, physically Krishna didn't return back. Physically I'm telling, he returned back to Vrindavan. So it happened after a long time they met Krishna. So they are crying, they are asking why you didn't come to Vrindavan. All these things are happened. Then what they did, they made Krishna and Balaram and Subhadra, they made them sit in the chariot and they pulled the chariot towards Vrindavan. This pastime happened when Krishna is present. So on the commemoration of the same chariot, same Leela, today also Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is placed in the chariot and pulled towards Gundicha. Gundicha is birthplace of Lord Jagannatha, so it's almost as good as Vrindavana. Neelachala, Jagannath temple is Vaikunta, like Dwaraka. So devotees of Lord Krishna, they'll pull the Jagannath Ratha towards Vrindavana to commemorating this Leela. If you observe, day before yesterday is the Amavasya. Day before yesterday means 5th is Amavasya. Then after Amavasya is over, means normally lunar eclipse comes on the Amavasya Tithi. Solar eclipse comes on the Amavasya Tithi. Lunar eclipse comes on the Paurnami Tithi. Okay, lunar eclipse comes on the Paurnami. Solar eclipse comes on the Amavasya Tithi. Day before yesterday, Amavasya, so that time solar eclipse came. Today, 2 days later, today they pulled Krishna's chariot towards Vrindavana. Krishna travelled in chariot many times, but devotees didn't pull. Horses pulled. Akrura has taken Krishna and Balram in a chariot only to Mathura, but that time horses are pulling. This is the only one Leela where devotees pulled. So, with love and devotion, we all also can take part in Jagannath Ratha Yatra, pulling the Ratha of Lord Jagannatha towards Vrindavan. Our mood should be that. We should take Krishna towards Vrindavan. Like that. Okay? I'll stop here. If anybody has got any questions, I'll try to answer one or two. Any questions, please? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की।